what is an elf bar? What's an elf bar? I don't know. It's
When
just.
Elf Bar became available in the US, their millions of dollars in sales implied they would be an unstoppable force in the vape industry. Instead, through getting millions of kids hooked on nicotine, US senators calling them out, and the FDA banning them, Elf Bar has experienced a roller coaster of success and controversy unlike any other brand. The ban was announced in May of 2023, but just 3 years prior, Elf Bar had a fantastic opportunity to take over the US vaping market. On January 2nd, 2020, the FDA finalized a ban on flavored
Alright, guys, don't vape. Just don't vape, okay?
cartridge-based e-cigarettes. This ban was put in place after the US experienced a meteoric rise in youth vaping, with 1 in 5 high schoolers and 1 in 20 middle schoolers reporting being e-cig users in 2018. Now, the main culprit for this rise in youth vaping was Juul, which at its peak controlled over 70% of the e-cigarette market and offered enticing flavors like mango, fruit medley, and creme brulee. Juul was deemed the main villain for the youth vaping epidemic, and so the FDA did everything in its power to get rid of them, mainly by banning their fruity flavors that were enticing to kids. However, while trying to ban fruity vapes from kids, the FDA made a colossal mistake that led to fruity vapes not
Yeah,
really
not
being
really good
banned at
thing to
all.
do.
See, within the technicalities of their flavor ban, the FDA put a lot of emphasis on cartridge-based reusable e-cigarettes. Their definition of a cartridge-based e-cig was products that consist of, include, or involve a cartridge or pod that holds liquid that is to be aerosolized when the product is used. This definition includes products like Juul and any other e-cigarette
How
with
many
a
push up?
pod system, but what it
20.
didn't include were disposable e-cigarettes. Disposable e-cigarettes differ from cartridge-based ones, as disposables are bought pre-filled with e-liquid and are thrown away when the liquid is gone, while a pod-based system encourages users to purchase pods to use with their rechargeable
I know
device.
this. I know
Surprisingly,
this
the
video.
FDA
This is the video where he tried it and then like bro turned super red. Like that's crazy. Alright, bro.
intended the law to be like this, as research showed that teens overwhelmingly preferred cartridge e-cigarettes, and they didn't want to restrict options for adults who might use other kinds of e-cigarettes to quit smoking. However, while trying to have good intentions, the simple loophole in the FDA's flavor ban would allow one company to swoop into the market and get millions of Juul users to switch to their product. Of course,
Alright, chat, hold on. Hold on, chat. Hold on, I had covers on. Chill out. I have covers on. Hold on, chat. Bro, I'm not giving you 5 push ups. We do meet again. Bro, look what I got, bro. How do you use this, bro? Hold on. How do you use it? How do you use it? It's confusing, bro. I'll figure out I'll figure out how to use it, bro. I'll figure out how to use it.
that product was Elf Bar, a disposable vape brand made by the Chinese tech company iMiracle Shenzhen. After realizing the FDA's flavor ban didn't apply to disposable vapes, iMiracle
I'm not gonna burn the house down, bro. I might blow the camera up, but it's fine. How the heck? Yeah, this is not we're not.
quickly started selling Elf Bar with its fruity flavors in the US in November of 2021. By simply ignoring FDA authorization on getting new vaping products approved and the lack of enforcement of disposable vape flavors, Elf Bar exploded in popularity among teens. A lot of the meteoric growth of Elf Bar had to do with the same reasons why
Yeah.
Juul was so popular.
Bro,
They were
look at this
considered
kid's
safer than
face.
cigarettes. You could use them discreetly indoors, there wasn't any lingering odor, they were easy to use, socially acceptable, and of course, the flavors were nice. Combine that with a massive presence on social media, which younger people predominantly use, and it's clear that Elf Bar was primed for enormous growth among teens. And the numbers prove it. While sales of cartridge-based e-cigs decreased from 75.2% to 48%
I will
between
figure out how to
January
use that
2020
later,
and
bro.
December of 2022, sales of disposable e-cigarettes increased from 24.7% to 51.8%.
We all hate
And
vapes.
expectedly, the top-selling disposable vape brand was Elf Bar.
It will
which
destroy your
generated
lungs,
over
like,
271
it will
million
destroy
in
your
sales
lungs.
in 2022 and was reportedly the top-selling disposable vape brand among 16 through 19-year-olds the same year.
Look at this, bro. Will you see what this guy is doing right now? Hold that freaking tricks here, bro. God
By the
dang.
beginning of 2023, Elf Bar was clearly the go-to choice for both young and old e-cigarette users, and it seemed like no one could stop them. That is, until March of 2023. It was then that US Senator Chuck Schumer broke the ice in the conversation surrounding Elf Bar's popularity among the youth. In a public statement, Chuck begged the FDA to investigate Elf Bar for being the new villain and getting millions of kids hooked on nicotine, stating, "While the FDA has done much to snuff out the worst kinds of
Baby,
e-cigs that can hook kids, like Juul, there
I
are
need, like,
clear
really
workarounds and
deep
illegal
tech y'all
methods
kids,
being
dude."
used by sneaky actors like Elf Bar." He mentioned how Elf Bar's flavors, such as peach mango and cotton candy, and shady advertising tactics on social media fueled an explosion of teens' desire for the
So that would
product
be
that
allowed?
needed to be put out immediately. While some disregarded Chuck's statement, many organizations agreed with him and urged the FDA to get involved, which they eventually did. In May of 2023, over 3 years after heavily regulating Juul, the FDA finally took a stance against Elf Bar by banning them from being imported into the US. These new orders issued by the agency gave customs officials the go-ahead to seize shipments of Elf Bar along with 3 other brands at US ports, citing that all of the brands have yet to receive FDA authorization and appeal to teenagers through their fruity flavors. Additionally, the FDA sent warning letters to dozens of retailers selling Elf Bar and threatened to fine them up to $19,000 if they didn't take the brand off store shelves. These
That's a
efforts
really
made it
slow
seem like
spammer,
the
to be
FDA
honest.
finally recognized Elf Bar as a severe threat to teens and made it clear that their regulation wouldn't end there. Brian King, the FDA's Tobacco Center director, said, "Today's action is just part of our long-standing efforts to address those products, particularly flavored disposable products." However, while Brian and the FDA thought these measures would indeed eliminate Elf Bar, the brand was already one step ahead of them. Just 2 weeks after the import ban was
steps ahead, bro.
implemented, a request to trademark EB Create was filed with the US Patent and Trademark Office. The filing was made by the same patent attorney who submitted Elf Bar's previous applications, and the product the trademark was for was described as being the exact same thing as Elf Bar. The design was the same, the packaging was the same, and even the ingredients inside the vape were the exact same thing. The only difference between EB Create and Elf Bar was the company listed in the new trademark request, Nervera HK Limited. Now, if you haven't noticed already, Elf Bar was attempting to simply change the name of their product and sell it under a different company so that customs officials wouldn't think their product was on the banned list. And crazy enough, even though it was more than obvious that EB Create was Elf Bar with a new name, the trademark office approved their request. And so, in a matter of 14 days, Elf
Imagine.
Bar was back in business in the US, successfully getting through US ports and being sold across the country.
You guys are that
Now,
dumb,
after hearing
bro.
all
You guys
that,
are out of
you
your
think
mind.
the FDA would just add
Put
EB
the mind away,
Create to
put
the
the mind away
import
at this
ban
point.
list or even sue Elf Bar. Simple, right? Well, it turns out that doing that isn't as easy as it sounds. In December of 2023, Brian King made it clear that fighting ELF-BAR would be a steep uphill battle. In an interview, he said the FDA can't levy penalties or file lawsuits against foreign companies, and even if they wanted to, he also said the agency lacks enforcement resources to stem the tide of cheap Chinese vapes once they reach US shores. However, on the other hand, it seems that Brian and the FDA are in fact using all of the resources they have to take down ELF-BAR, and as they said before, they aren't going to stop until the vape company is gone. Along with issuing over 300
I mean, isn't there
warning
other
letters to
vape
retailers,
companies? Like,
the FDA has fined
kids still
over 40
smoke other vape
stores,
company
mainly gas
things.
stations, the maximum amount of $19,000 for continuing to sell ELF-BAR. Beyond that, Brian said the FDA is in discussions with Congress and the US Justice Department to get approval to sue US distributors of the illegal vape brand. ELF-BAR is clearly the #1 target for the FDA when it comes to enforcement on preventing teens from getting addicted to nicotine. At this point, it's a cat and mouse game between ELF-BAR and the FDA. But while it seems like the FDA is a slow motion cat, it's obvious that they're doing everything in their power to eliminate ELF-BAR from the US forever.
I just bought a vape by showing.
Okay, chill. Yeah, it's obvious that you need to stop vaping, or you'll literally die. Just die. So, yeah.